Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about The Girl Who Talks to Ghosts by J.H. Moncrieff, and this is from Death Zone Books. In a nutshell, psychic medium Kate Carlson is called in to help a young girl who is having a little trouble after she's messed around with a Ouija board. We all know that never goes anywhere good. But this girl's being harassed by spirits, and she may be possessed. So Kate comes in to help her out, and things start to get a little crazy for Kate. And her investigation leads her to the Isle of Pavelia. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. It's off the coast of Venice. It is the world's most haunted isle. I'm looking at the back of the book here. And there was an asylum there, and this doctor that would torture the patients and everything. And even though he's dead, he's still doing horrible things. So Kate ends up here on this isle during her investigation, and her old friend Jackson Stone is along to help her out along in the story. I don't recall if he goes to the island with her. I don't think he does, at least not at first. But anyway, so Kate goes to this isle to try to figure out what the hell is going on with this young girl and maybe solve the mystery of Dr. Death and all these weird happenings. And that's your nutshell. That's the bones of the story. So this is the second book in the Ghost Writers series. That's writers with a T. And so we're reintroduced to Kate Carlson and Jackson Stone. You don't have to have read the first book to jump in and enjoy this one. They're both very interesting characters, very well written. J.H. Moncrieff, everything I've read by her is very well written. And they're interesting stories. And Moncrieff travels a lot and goes to these places. So right off the bat, once we get to this Isle of Poveglia, however you say it, there's an authenticity to it because Moncrieff is one who definitely does her research. So we start off very creepy stuff going on with this young girl and the spirits that are bothering her, and the creepy scenes. Moncrieff writes creepy scenes very well, and once the story really gets rolling and we get to the Isle and Kate is digging deeper and deeper into this mystery, things get creepier and creepier. Things aren't always what they seem to be. One of the things I really liked about this story was that I think your expectations, my expectations, definitely, possibly your expectations, turned on their head, which is always a nice thing. When you read as much as I do, it takes a lot to surprise me, I think, and this book definitely did it with where part of the story went. Now, I don't know how you feel about comparing books to other books. As I said, this is the second book in a series, and excuse me, another thing that I like about this one is that it is so different from the first book. First of all, and the first book was City of Ghosts, and Jackson was the main character in that one. Kate is absolutely the main character in this one, so that's a nice change. Even though they're both in both books, it's nice to see a change of perspective, and it's a completely different type of story. The feel of the story is completely different. As I said, you don't have to have read the first one to enjoy this one. And that's why I'm not sure about comparing. How do you feel about comparing books in a series? Or just books by the same author, but especially books in a series. Sometimes when you have a series, you have a sameness running through everything. And it's nice to have things, it's nice when things are different, but is it fair to compare? So this book, how do I put this? Again, the book itself stands on its own. You could just read this, not having read anything else. But when doing a review, when talking about it, is it best to simply let it stand on its own, or does one need to compare it to the other books in the series? Not necessarily need, but should one compare it to the other books in the series? I don't know. I'm looking for your opinion. But again, doesn't matter. Love that cover. The book, I'm going to say it I think a third time, stands on its own. It's a great story, great characters. I love seeing Kate and Jackson come back. They were wonderful characters in the first book. There I go again. They're great characters in this book. There are 3 more books in the series so far that I haven't read yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know people, especially some people at work, that don't like ghost stories. They don't think that ghosts are scary. They don't think ghosts can do anything. But I like this, especially if it's a well-written ghost story. They can be terrifying. And J.H. Moncrieff absolutely knows her spooky stuff. As I said, she travels to all these different locations. She studies, she does her research. She knows ghost stories, legends from around the world, and it absolutely shows. So what you have here is just a well-written book with great characters and fascinating history and a lot of spooky stuff going on. So I don't know what else to say about this. Again, as always, I'm trying to avoid spoilers. And I guess that brings up, I ask this every once in a while. I mentioned that there's some expectations turned on their head. Is that considered a spoiler? Does that give away, once you know something like that is going to happen, that there's going to be it's not really a twist, I don't think. It's just, going in, you kind of think you know where it's going. You expect certain things to happen in this type of story, and I don't think that they do. So once you know that, does that spoil it for you because you're looking for that? Or can you just go in and not worry about it? Just read it, enjoy it, hopefully have your mind blown. Let's talk about that. Which leads me to, if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, or answers to my questions, please leave them in the comments below. We can talk spoilers. Just leave a spoiler warning. There will be a link for this book in the description below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I believe that covers everything. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.